with so much happening in Edo State, and of course a lot of seers and people who claim that they can see tomorrow, they have forecasted and predicted bloodbath in Edo State as a result of the political tussle in Edo State. This is not between a different party. This is internal issues in APC that brought about the ousting of OSHIOMOLE, now the ex-national chairman of APC, and the incumbent governor of Edo State, Godwin Obaseki. He came out on Channels Television and he said that he will be cutting off ties with APC, although there are discussions at the moment on whether he will return to APC or go to PDP or just stand out of everything called politics for now. Now, we have different institutions in each state in Nigeria, and Edo State, they have the BENIN monarch, and this is Oba Iware II Akpolokpolo. On Thursday, he stated his position on political development in Edo State is opposed to imposition, consensus candidate, and godfatherism. In a statement signed by Frank Irabo, secretary to the Benin Traditional Council, he said there was no truth in social media speculations that the royal father had prevailed on some governorship aspirants to step down for one of the aspirants in the upcoming shadow poll of a certain political party. The rescheduled primary of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, will hold on June 23rd, a day after that of the All Progressive Congress, APC. The statement said the monarch's prayer had always been that God and our ancestors should give us a governor that will accord respect to traditional institutions, develop this state, and provide food on the table for the masses. The father warned against dragging the royal father into politics, insisting that the palace is wary of imposition of candidates. It reads, HRM has said times without number that the palace of the Oba of Benin does not get involved in partisan politics. The Oba strongly advises that in order to ensure recurrent socio-political conflict that seems to constantly ravish the state, making Edo people a laughingstock to the rest of the country on how politicians manage the affairs of Edo people. Our Edo political actors must eradicate the twin evil of political vices of godfatherism and consensus candidacy. The two practices seem anti-ethical to the very fundamental basis of democracy. Let everybody take note that the palace is very weary of imposition of candidates when only certain individuals want, but majority of the people do not want. Ghana must go. Politics should end in the state. Politicians should stop cashing in on the poor masses and exploiting them for their votes. We believe all qualified aspirants in any elective office should be given a level playing field for democracy to develop to the next level in Nigeria. Political actors should mature up and learn not to wash their dirty linen in public. The Oba of Benin also admonished politicians as they are preparing for their governorship primary elections to exercise the highest standards of maturity and sportsmanship, stressing that the desire to bring about the best for the people of Edo State should not be compromised or sacrificed on the altar of intolerance, rumor mongering, and fake news. The monarch reminded rumor mongers that there is an ancestral curse on anyone who attempts to tarnish the image of the Oba of Benin and the ancient throne of the Benin Kingdom, which would normally be for their selfish ends. These are the words of the monarch in Edo State. They have other monarchs, but the Oba of Benin is a paramount ruler and he is known all over Benin and of course in Nigeria. Well, as you can see, politicians and monarch, they work hand in hand, but they have to be careful. I'm talking about the monarchs now, because It is the state government, and of course the federal government pays, state government particularly pay monarchs like a salary. Gone are those days that monarchs have power. We are not in a monarchical system anymore. We do not practice monarchy and any of those. We are in a democratic system, and governors have a lot of pull. There are some states where governors are the ones that bring in a king and crown the king and pay for all of those things. It happens as they've been given the right and it's there in the constitution. Well, there are paramount rulers anyway, but that doesn't stop. It depends anyway. That doesn't stop whatever it is that the governor wants to do. In this case, the king, he has spoken well. He has spoken like someone with a lot of intelligence, and he's being careful not to support one person over the other. I told you that monarchs are kind of they are more or less like a neutral party, as it is supposed to be. Although they are supposed to speak when it comes to certain issues, they are supposed to be neutral, and common sense will tell you that they have to be. Imagine if you support one person and somebody else comes in there. The person that comes in there will use the seat, that authority that he or she has, to make sure that the monarch or the monarchy, the stool, is ridiculed. You might be pushed out. Anything can happen. A lot of people have said, no, it's not possible. Do you think Oba of Benin is like the Oba of any other Oba? And I laugh at these things. What people do not understand is that the monarchs are there, royal blood and all of this, they are there. And what keeps that seat, just like a police officer has a uniform. When you see the uniform, you respect and you know that there is a backing of the government. And also they have a gun. Now, what does the monarch have all over Nigeria? What do they have? They will say they are the custodian of the gods, small letter G, and they believe that the gods, the small letter G gods, are behind them, and you cannot attack them and all of them. But you need to understand that we live in a different dispensation where many of these politicians they've also dug their hands in different very traditional and diabolic things, and they are ready to fight and face anybody. But I don't think it's worth it anyway, as that is not what is needed. It's not progressive. So what a king, Oba, Emir, and Igwe will do is to speak neutrally and speak like a father. That is what I think, and that is the best. And this is what the Oba of Benin has done here, saying, I am not partisan. I'm not going to support one person over the other person. I'm not involved in this. There are other things. I have my own portfolio, and I think I should focus on this. And I believe that this is the best. He has done the right thing. Now, there are other comments. Of course, people from Edo State concerned, and people that are opposed to all of this. I'm going to go through some few of them so we know what is happening there. Wow, you also drop your comment if you're from Edo State or you've been following the trend. Someone said, with due respect, sir, I want to bring you back on memory lane. Sir, did you remember you played godfatherism to the same OSHIOMOLE back when he was gunning for the seat of Edo State? President Jonathan visited Benin during the campaign, but for the mark of respect, this gentleman, president, was in your office to pay you homage. You, sir, refused to come out to honor him, claiming that the palace is not for politics. Tinubu and all other APC was in Benin for OSHIOMOLE. OSHIOMOLE led them to the palace and you rolled out drums and fanfare to welcome them. Now you are claiming you are not doing godfatherism. I beg to disagree with you, sir. So, as you see, internet does not forget, and people always have information. It never visited, allowed Jonathan in. But when Tinubu came in, probably for one reason or the other, the drums, they said, were rolled out. Well, someone says he's afraid he might be dethroned. The late Oba, the father, was dethroned by a military administrator of Edo State for partisan politics. Yeah, people, I beg Jare. So that is someone's opinion there. Someone says His Royal Highness Oba Nedo Uku Okolopolo Oba Iworetu did refuse to come out to honor Goodluck Jonathan and his entourage, but rolled out drums and fanfare to receive OSHIOMOLE. During the campaign to install OSHIOMOLE as governor of Edo State. The truth is, and the truth as it may sound, that was in the past. The royal monarch has spoken. You don't argue or question the decision of the monarch. No more godfatherism and consensus candidacy in Edo State, period. That's what someone here is saying. Someone said the stool of the Oba is supposed not to be partisan. Let it be so, sir, and do not repeat what happened when Goodluck Jonathan visited your palace and when OSHIOMOLE and his entourage visited you too. Long live to the Oba. Someone said, I totally agree with the Oba of Benin. It's so unfortunate that many third blind eyes to see it this way and also say out, therefore, say other things, preferring the wrong rather than the right. Let us eschew evil. That's what someone is saying here. Well, I don't know what your take is about all of these things that are happening here. I'm going to leave you with this last one. Someone's opinion, say from the Oba statement, it's glaring that him and the entire Palace Council members are against the anointed candidate of OSHIOMOLE, ßL0, maybe because the sponsor, OSHIOMOLE, is out of the seat of the party leadership at the center. Why him? The Oba not taking this stand prior to the appeal court's judgment on Wednesday evening. Indeed, history has a way of repeating itself and nothing of the truth lasts forever. From the views of my fellow commentators, Oba refused to welcome the then Goodluck Jonathan, ex-president, based on opposition stand of the governor as an APC member, but wholeheartedly received the state ruling party members from other states to his palace, the likes of Gwari, Tinubu and others. From this standpoint, I perceive that the Oba seems to hide in the shadows of the state ruling class so that maybe not to suffer the fate of the dethroned Emir Sanusi Lamido of Kano State. So Oba is smart. We are not in a monarchical or monarchy system anymore. We are in a kind of, we're in a different, and no amount of gods that you might say are behind you might stop you from being kicked out. History, has shown a lot of things. Oba can be kicked out. He might decide to attack back. It's all about all of these things, but that is not what is needed at the moment. What is needed at this moment is for Edo State to get it right. Oba has stated his own position, my position on Edo politics, and that's it. He said he's not partisan and he's not interested in any of this. He's also human, and that's just what it is.